Are you tired of laser engraving the same old stuff that you see everyone doing, like coasters and cutting boards and tumblers? How about maybe personalizing some tools? Yeah, there's some good profit in personalizing tools, and I decided to go to my local hardware store for inspiration. Hey, welcome back to Tripod's Garage. Today we are at Harbor Freight. They're kind of known for that one-day tool. Well, instead, we are going to see what we could laser engrave. And we're going to use the Xtool F1 Ultra. So let's go in there and see what we can find to laser engrave. Oh, these ammo boxes look pretty cool. We got some plastic ones. It's only $5.99. So we'll grab one of these. Well, we'll grab two because we got to test. Grab two of these. And we got metal for $16.99. And we'll grab two of these. Oh look, we have, for only $7.99, we got some 3-inch knives. And they're not marked, so looks like we could personalize these with ease. So we're gonna grab two of these. Oh, look, here we have just a 16-ounce claw hammer at $4.99. It looks like that we should be able to engrave the handle as well as the head. That'd be a pretty cool little gift for someone. Let's go with that. Now, someone has to love Harbor Freight to get gold ratchets. I mean, are you kidding me? $60. What, are you gonna frame this thing? It's a special edition, but it is a 90 tooth, so that's actually pretty good. No, I'll pass. Well, we got some axes here. It looks like these all have a special coating on them, and I think might be able to just laser remove this and then etch it. So we'll give that a try. We'll engrave something cool on the top here and maybe something on the handle too. And it's only $12.99, so if I mess it up, at least I still have an axe to use. First thing you want to do is make sure your axe is perfectly level as much as possible all the way across. Then do a thickness and do a snapshot refresh. And then I'm going to zoom in. But before we begin, we're going to outline the axe. So we're going to do our vectoring here, and we're going to just draw lines all around there. And what I want to do is try to get as close to the edge as possible. I'm actually going to go around the blade too, but not do where it's been ground down. But you'll notice that our edges are kind of like pointy, and we're going to do what's called perfect symmetry. So we're going to highlight all this, and we're going to choose Edit Node in the lower right of the screen. So we're going to go ahead and pick our dots, and then we're going to choose the second option, which is perfect symmetry. And we're going to be able to move these dots around and get a smoother edge. And we're going to do this around everywhere that we want to have a smoother edge. And then you could also grab that, the little corners here to manipulate your curvature, if you so to speak. And again, we're going to just do this all around so we could just try to smooth out everything and get rid of any jagged lines. This way, what we're going to do is do what's called a cleanup pass. What this cleanup pass is going to do is going to actually get rid of this powder coating. So we're going to change our settings here to Fiber IR. And let's go ahead and change the power to 90. And then we're going to want to do it around like 700 millimeters per second. And we're going to do a line spacing per centimeter at 300. You'll notice that I left the edge of the axe alone because I don't want it engraved at all. So I did 2 passes and I'm still left with some residual. That's actually some rubber and some plastic. So I'm going to take a X-Acto knife and get rid of it. That looks a lot better. So I'm going to now do my final cleanup pass. It's going to be a higher speed, lower power. Now I'm not going to go a lot lower. I'm just going to keep it at 80, but I'm going to increase the speed to 1200. I'm going to keep my line at 300, but I'm going to change my frequency to 45. And you'll notice that it cleaned up rather nicely on that first pass, and I'm happy with the results. Now I'm going to do like just a crude design, vector design. I'm going to start out with some text. So I'm going to get rid of the hello here, and I'm going to type in, of course, Tripod's Garage. And I'm going to just keep it at the spacing. And I really do not like the font. I've been kind of liking this Georgia font, but I kind of want the wording to stand out a little bit. So we're going to actually click on the outline button. And I'm going to do my offset at 1 millimeter. And that's going to kind of break up my lettering, so to speak. Now you can see that it has a nice border around it. Then I'm just going to center everything. Now I want some type of background, and I'm choosing this honeycomb. It's a JPEG, so when I bring it in, I can't really use it as a vector. But what I can do is manipulate it. And how do I do that? I'm going to do what's called a trace function. I'm going to trace the image, and then it's going to give me a vector. I'm going to hit save, and then what this is going to do is I'm going to have two separate instances on here. I'm going to get rid of my JPEG, but now I have this outlined vector file that I can now use and manipulate. I just want to have a lot of these hexagons, so I'm going to shrink it down, and then I'm going to kind of tilt it a little bit here. And we're going to do about like 27 degrees here, and then I'm going to just position it in the corner. Let's do, it's about 30 degrees, I guess, somewhere around there. And then once I have it where I want it, I'm going to do Control-C, Control-V, copy, and then paste of this. And I'm going to just keep on copying and pasting it, and basically just position more of these around, covering up the whole axe head and with these hexagons. I'm going to do that across this whole piece, but I want to make sure that it's all lined up as perfectly as I can get it. So I'm going to go ahead and line it up, and let's fast forward to what it looks like now. As you can see, I covered the whole thing with these hexagons, and then I have this object list. I'm going to lock down each of these minus the text. This is very important for this step. So lock them all down, so you see all the groups on the left hand side, and just do not lock down the text one, everything else. Then once you're done with that, you're going to now highlight every one of them minus the text. Then on the right hand side, you're going to click on the combine. It's going to be the second option. It's going to be the subtract function. This may take a few seconds depending on the processing power of your computer, but once it's done, it's pretty magical, so to speak. Look at that. Now currently everything is on score, and we have two layers or two instances on your left side on your object list. But I want to make sure they're all engraved, so I'm going to click on the text and I'm going to choose engrave, and I'm going to make sure it's done the same for the compound vector as well. Next, we're going to choose our laser type, which is fiber IR. We're going to set the power to 100, speed at 60. We're going to do one pass, but chances are I'm going to do multiple. I just want to moderate, and we're going to do our lines per centimeter at 300, and we're going to keep our frequency at 30. We want to make sure that both our objects are at the same parameters, which they are, and then we're going to go ahead and start engraving. Please be sure to wear eye protection. Be sure to wear proper eye protection because the laser is definitely going to be exposed because the handle's sticking out, and use proper exhausting, whether it's through an air purifier or out a window. Be in a well-ventilated area. So far, after 2 passes, this is looking really good, but I actually did 3. Now when I pick it up, you can see that the head wasn't really that level. I mean, it was as level as I can get it. You can see that the left side is a little bit more distorted, so to speak, than the right. Kind of like a gradient effect, but I still like it. Now I'm just going to clean it with a magic eraser. I did destroy a magic eraser during this process because this is laser etched and it kind of chewed it up, but it did clean it really nice. It got into every nook and cranny, and you can see how nice and vibrant it is. I actually do like how it just like kind of fades a little bit towards the back of the axe head. But now we're going to do the handle. This time we're going to do the blue light. We're going to do 80 power, 100 on the speed, and 1 on the pass. And I just basically did the same process for my design. It's going to be the same process for all the things I engraved today. And I purposely went off the edge here because I wanted it to kind of distort a little bit around the handle. Now this handle is not perfectly symmetrical, and I maybe could have tilted a little bit more, but let's go ahead and clean up this handle. And for cleanup, I just used the magic eraser again, but I didn't apply too much force on it, and I think the handle came out rather nice. I could have probably tilted it a little bit better, but everything else is a lot better than I thought from my first attempt on engraving an axe. Again, gradient I think looks pretty good. I could have probably tilted the tripod's garage a little bit more, but again, the axe handle is not perfectly straight as is. So, but I think it came out rather nice. So let me know what you think. Now that leads to today's video sponsor, PCBWay. Are you looking for PCBs, standard PCBs, advanced PCBs, rigid flex PCBs? They could even assemble them for you. Are you looking for maybe CNC or any type of injected molding? Well, they can do that as well. But what is this? They're having their 10th anniversary sale. Let's go ahead and take a look. And here you can find some awesome exclusive coupons. It ranges for how much you spend, and you definitely get more savings. If you watch this video, it's only 30 seconds, you can also get some savings as well. So go ahead and watch it. Oh, would you look at this, a spinning globe. Hell, you can actually find out what projects people are working on. Let's check out India. Let's click on this little yellow dot. Order 500 USD worth of goods for this order, which is the biggest order for my side of this project. Ah, that's pretty darn cool. Then you could click on other yellow dots as well. They're doing this PCBWay Bridge charity sale. You could just go ahead and buy one of these, and then with all proceeds being donated to charitable organizations. That's pretty darn cool. And last but not least, you could actually participate in a lucky draw. Click one of the boxes, see what you can win. Happy 10-year anniversary, PCBWay, and thank you for sponsoring today's video. Next, we're going to engrave this pocket knife. It's a Gordon pocket knife. It has no branding anywhere on the knife, which is going to make it perfect to engrave. But we're going to just engrave the blade only. So I use the same pattern and same font for a tripod for the blade. I did do that little circle for where the thumb goes to store and pull out the blade. I should have done like maybe a half circle because it doesn't really line up. Let's go ahead and verify our settings. I'm going to go to the object list. I'm going to choose my text. For the object list, we're going to make sure that our text and compound vectors are the same. So I'm going to choose fiber IR. The power is going to be 90. Speed is going to be 200. We're going to actually do 2 passes. Lines per centimeter is 300. And again, we're only going to do the blade. Now I want the blade to have a nice dark tint to it, but not too deeply engraved. And I think this was a good mixture. You can see that it came out pretty sharp. Again, no pun intended, but you could also see that my hole didn't really line up too well where the thumb goes, but everything else is very crisp. I should have definitely done a half circle there. Didn't line up, but everything else lines up pretty good. And I think it came out rather nice. What do you guys think? And girls, of course. So that's a pretty nice gift that you could engrave for people and sell for, I believe, a good profit margin. So let's continue on to the next project. Now, you saw this at the beginning of the video, so no surprises here. We're going to do the hammer. And we're going to do the fiber IR, and the power will be 90, but the speed will be 50. And I believe we're actually going to do 6 passes. So we want to make sure that both our object list, the text, and the compound vector are the same. And we're going to just monitor it to see how dark I really want it. But I believe I did 6 passes total. So let's get started. Again, you want your material to be as flat as possible, but some things you can't. And that's because this actually dips down towards the base of that hammerhead a little bit. And the laser gets a little bit out of focus. But since it was a very gradual slope there, I think everything came out rather nice. Now, magic eraser time. And you know what? I actually like this more than the axe. Look at that. Did 6 passes. I wanted to just control how many passes, and I did it one at a time, and I just said, okay, well, that's not good enough. So we went a little bit deeper. And look at how nice and deep that engraving is. has a really nice texture to it too. And it seems to really pop when I take pictures of it. I mean, you can really see the detail versus the video. You can see how nice and engraved it is. Now, this handle's identical to power and speed as the axe handle. Looking at 80% power, 100 millimeters per second, and 300 lines per centimeter. And this time, because I could, I centered the image and the hexagons on the handle. I couldn't really do that on the axe because it was all curved and there was no way to really center it. And I took a magic eraser and slightly just rubbed it on there, and everything, all the soot and everything came right off. It's very nice and crisp and clean. The tripod came out nice and bold. That is a perfect gift for... Hopefully you're getting some type of ideas of what you can do with some tools and possibly sell some unique products to people and make a good profit. Next will be the plastic ammo can. You can see the item number right there. It's plastic, so what we're going to try to do is change the tint on this a little bit. And the settings for the laser IR, 30% power, 2000 millimeters per second, 2 passes, lines per centimeter, 300, and frequency 30. Now I did wind up doing 3 passes on this. The first one, you can see the most difference, of course. And it's just completed. Now you can see right there the second pass going. It's about halfway through. Now it's about 3/4, and now it's done. Third pass, barely can see. Right now it's going past the stars and halfway, and now it's almost done. And I forgot to mention that you want to make sure that ammo box is nice and level before you engrave. I shimmed it underneath with a coaster that made it perfectly level in both directions. Now, look at the difference here. I mean, 3 passes, the contrast is rather amazing. And I'm not a fan of laser engraving anything plastic. There's barely any fumes, but please make sure that you do extract the fumes completely. And this is permanent. It's not going to really fade or anything. It'll fade with the plastics. And just be warned that laying this on its side is basically maxing out the height of your laser. And here is the metal ammo can. Again, it's going to basically max out the height of your laser, laying it on its side, of course. And we're going to do the fiber IR at 100% power, 5000 millimeters per second, 6 passes, 300 on the lines per centimeter, and 40 on the frequency. Now, I would suggest doing 1 pass at a time because you have no idea what maybe contrast you're looking for. The first pass may have been good enough for you, but I was wanting to barely just get enough of it gone where I could see the steel underneath. Unfortunately, the ammo box was not perfectly level, and you'll see in the bottom there I was struggling to get the last bit engraved because the laser was out of focus on the bottom. However, I did achieve the results I was looking for at the end. Let's go ahead and use some alcohol and a microfiber cloth to clean this up a little bit. And after it's cleaned, this is what we have. A nice etched metal ammo can. Just the way I wanted it. Now, if you want to keep this the way it is, you're going to want to possibly spray some, clear coat on there. Because otherwise what's going to happen is this metal will rust. But that could be also a nice look that people are going to look for to give it that nice aged look. But as you can see, everything is nice and clean. I really like how it came out. Now there is definitely a height limit to the F1 Ultra, and laying these ammo cans on the side basically is the max height that it can engrave. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas for your next project. And if you're looking to purchase F1 Ultra, affiliate links will be down below. Thanks for tuning in to Tripod's Garage. Please have a wonderful day, evening, or weekend, or whenever you decide to watch this video. Oh, car. I didn't know he stopped. Laser engraved with the Xtool Ultra. Hey, welcome back to Tripod's Garage. As you can see, here comes a car.